Liverpool Fan in Japan.
Hello YouTube, Liverpool Fan in Japan here, the Miyazaki man Sai. We are now one win a game from Premier League glory. A 20th league victory. My goodness, that sounds fantastic. We are clawing our way there. Up the mountain to get the final 3 points, winning by 1 goal margin against a Leicester City who are in the worst form in the Premier League. They've lost 5 in a row, now they've lost 6 in a row. They haven't scored for a good 4 months now, is that correct? Wow, we got there in the end by hook or by crook. Now this, unfortunately, is the Arne Slot system towards the latter part of the season where everyone is a little bit jittery, a little bit nervous in the way that we expected to win the match. We controlled the match. We had lots of shots, but it's almost like, you know, instead of penetrating with like some scissors or something, instead of like samurai sword slicing through, we're using the backside and trying to beat a dead donkey's ass or something. I don't know. Is that the right analogy? We're literally, you know, trying to smash down the door. We're not cutting through, and it's not even Jurgen Klopp's, you know, relentless Mane Salah on the inside, shoot. Our shots have been a tiny bit fatal. Where is the raging bull, that Risa rocket, that Stevie G hammer blow to the heart kind of thing? The shots are weak except when Trent Alexander-Arnold came on, left-footed half volley, eyes on a prize, and put it right through the keeper, right? Salah had the opportunity to score the goal with the right foot, missed the target. Salah in the opening 3 minutes placed it left foot inside the post, hit both posts and came out. Now this is the slight worry. Now this is a video of positivity, sure, but we got to be balanced here, right? Salah in the last few weeks has had the opportunity to open the scoring very early. Against PSG, he had the opportunity to open the scoring, and if he puts it away, it's a different game, it's a different kettle of fish, and we would have been safe as houses, and the battens would have come down, and it would have been a goal fiesta, ANA Fiesta, or Nippon Airlines, that is Japan's national, well, as well as Japan Airlines as well, but yeah, you know what I'm saying. We got 2 good airlines over here. If Salah could have put them away early, it would have been a different game. And that's what we're going to need next season. We're going to need to get that early goal to transform the rhythm and narrative and the flow of the game, for the fact that we kind of go into load periods when Salah doesn't open the scoring. He's kind of on periphery of the game. Dominic Szoboszlai, for all his shooting ability, and to be fair, he had 1 pot shot, which did trouble the keeper at the front post, right? But 1 pot shot from your attacking midfield talent, your number 10, your dedicated number 10, who's almost at times highest up on the pitch because of his pressing, isn't too impressive. And have you noticed his free kicks and his other shots as well are bouncing in front of the keeper? Why is he going for spillage or flow and not just blasting it top corner? Does he not remember what he did in Jurgen Klopp's first few months when Szoboszlai came into the team? Smashed into top corner, into the side net, welling it, deflection everywhere. He's got to pick up his attacking verve again. I really want to see an unleashed Szoboszlai next season, because he can't be wasted in that 10 position when you don't add anything on the ball. He turned once in that game. He had 9 opportunities to turn in midfield, and he turned once. He turned once in midfield. Albeit he played a good ball afterwards, but we need more from the man. McAllister, the metronome, the tempo maestro, maybe the player of the season even, because he's just kept us going from back to front. He's always feisty. And I said in the chat as well, McAllister got battered. He got absolutely hammered. We're going on to win the match, because every time our Ginger Nuts biscuit, Alexis Majestic McAllister, gets flattened, we go on to win the match. Now, it's never in danger. Now, I was never nervous. Thank you for everyone, by the way, on joining the live stream on YouTube, the pre-match analysis, a good 60, 70 odd. And then on Big Up, right, we got about 25 people concurrently to keep the features on Big Up. Thank you for joining us stream. And thank you as well, Eugene, you mentioned, when I said who will open the scoring, you mentioned tongue-in-cheek, Trent Alexander-Arnold. You were right, my man, Eugene. What a legend. Well done, my man. Oh, that was a good watch. That was an entertaining watch. And I always felt we'd make the breakthrough. Now, this isn't the score 1, score 2, score 3 like the UK buses. When one comes, it all comes stagecoach conundrum. This is a control the match, do the right things, and eventually the quality will show out in the end, whether it's a set piece by Van Dijk last week, or whether it's Trent Alexander-Arnold coming on with the creativity of a Harvey Elliott as well to score. It's very telling as well that Diogo Jota came in and not Darwin Núñez. If Darwin Núñez was sick, I could understand, because he was sick last week. But I don't know. I think the writing's on the wall. And it's not because Darwin Núñez isn't good enough. If you play a system around Darwin Núñez, he will score more than a Benjamin Sesko. He will score more than a Hugo Ekitike. You do not sign a 90 million, 100 million euro Ekitike, who's massively overpriced, by the way, if you're frustrated with Darwin Núñez, because Ekitike is even more inconsistent. He can't put his game together, even though he's got many good attributes. And Sesko is also a little bit awkward, and he's a tall, gangly striker who has a rocket shot and a lot of pace, but he's not dominant in the air. So if you sign a striker, it's got to be a connector, a playmaker. I did the transfer window that I would do with 80 million net spend, and you understand it's a multifaceted, multi-versatile, total footballing team that Arne Slot's going to want to build to thrive through the centre. At the moment, we've only got Gravenberch in a single pivot, and McAllister floating off him at times, or the other way around, which means that we can't go through the middle because the front man isn't connector. When Luis Diaz is up front, we have no ability to connect the play because he's not a hold-up player, and he's not a great passer, and he doesn't get many, if any, assists at all. When Darwin Núñez is up there, he huffs and he puffs, he runs the channels, and his invention in the runs and incisive in the runs makes space for Salah. But once again, Darwin Núñez is not a typical connector of play. So João Pedro, Cunha, even Harry Kane, the best in the world at that type of play, right? That's how you connect the play centrally with a front man. That's how you get the central unit of the attacking flow to work. For now, we're reliant on overruns, underlaps to get in amongst them. And speaking of which, Tsimikas for me was close to man of the match because Kostas Tsimikas kept going around the outside into space, crossing with danger. Technical player, didn't shirk his defensive duties. Our left-hand side was much more secure with Tsimikas and Van Dijk than Konate and Conor Bradley. Conor Bradley had a bit of a tough match against Mavididi, right? Is it Mavididi? He looked pretty good. If they could have got the ball again and again, they kept chipping the ball in behind the space that Conor Bradley vacated. And on occasion, he was found wanting a bit, stood a man up, but he plucked away and got in again and again. But his attacking intent. Conor Bradley in a right midfield slot, an inside forward slot in half space is more effective than Mo Salah and Dominic Szoboszlai put together, and that's saying something. He drives, he connects to 1-2s, he gets in and around the back as well, and Salah playing him in. He does need Salah's playmaking ability. Around the outside, with a pullback, with a cutback, he should have been a bit more clinical and done a bit more than that. One chance he had to release the Kraken and smash it in, and he went for the pass. I want these players to take responsibility for winning the points themselves because they really have the ability to do it. I've seen it in training. I've seen the slot machine in training, and they have the ability to do that. This is a channel of substance and abundance, the cream of the crop. The cream of the crop! The shiny one. And what we're talking about here is overlapping and underlapping. Tsimikas needs to go around the outside with a quality left foot to whip in across, right? Because Gakpo comes inside. Gakpo didn't have the finest of games. His running power laterally was not there to be seen, mainly because Ndidi and Sumare in the line of the six absolutely blocked off the space for him to run laterally and take a shot. But Cody Gakpo played a good tactical game because it was so obvious that Arne Slot told him, you get your head up and you loft it to the back post with a Mo Salah running in. The issue is, even though it's kind of set up for that type of game because Conor Bradley's a midget. He's short and he's not dominant in the air. And Sumare is quite small as well. The ball has to be perfect to float over to Salah because Salah is not going to beat anyone in the air. Salah is useless in the air. He's so good at everything else, but he's just not a header. He's not a Sadio Mane. He's not a Diogo Jota. Which is why it's even more surprising if our tactic was to get the lofted ball to the back post, the right back post. Why did we not leave Diogo Jota starting the line, or even Núñez, because both of them can beat a Conor Cody in the air, thrashing in at the back post, rampaging, and bang, bullet header at the back post to get it into the goal. When you're doing it against Mo Salah, the ball's got to be pinpoint and arced to such an extent that it beats Conor Cody, but drops within that margin of the pitch before it goes out of play. So the tactics were a little bit confused for me. I said in a pre-match preview, you play Szoboszlai and you play Lucho Diaz to be an extra man in the midfield, overrun the midfield, and shift the lines of six, shift Conor Cody out of place, shift Wout Faes, who's always a dilemma. He's a calamity. He's always, going to be exposed for an error, but we didn't put him under pressure. Lucho Diaz was ineffective. He can't connect the play. I just don't think he's at the right caliber. He works hard. He's plucky. He's helped us win the Premier League this season, but we've got to upgrade him. When you see Kavicha Kvaratskhelia do his thing, Vinicius Jr. do his thing, right? Lamine Yamal do his thing. Lucho Diaz's end product, assist ability, game intelligence, and vision is too lacking for a Liverpool that want to win the quadruple. And I know it's premature to talk of quadruple at this stage, but look, when we hit form, right, at the end of last year, everyone was talking about we're the favourites for all 4 cups. And it's not about quadruple to put pressure on and to be realistic. And, it's literally, if you look at the bookies' odds, in every competition taken in isolation, we should be there or thereabouts to be the favourites of the competition. Plymouth done us in because Curtis Jones couldn't make the match. Complete believer in what Arne Slot said there. If we had Curtis Jones to pull the strings in midfield there, the game is completely different. But we didn't. So we had James McConnell trying his best to pluck away with a midfield that just couldn't work together and couldn't get from back to front. So Chiesa, Elliott, and everyone else was isolated, unfortunately. And no one... The seniors did not have a good game that day. Chiesa is a conundrum, right? Not even making the squad. But I still have a sneaky suspicion, right? when we don't need to utilize him for the fact that this is a Premier League winning squad and Mo Salah plays every game already, he's still a good, useful backup in the way that the African Cup of Nations is next year. And that might put you off a Mohamed Kudus. That might put you off a Brian Mbeumo, right? With Cameroon and with Egypt and with the other players going to the AFCON, potentially up to 10 games. We're going to need that second string. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain stepped up to be counted. What a player the Ox is. Unfortunately, he did his own career in with that ill-timed, ill-informed lunging tackle with the outside right foot and completely wrecked his knee. But he stood up on the right wing to be counted, attacking midfielder, and he was the only one that could break the Manchester City lines to score 2 magnificent goals when he counted the most. We're lacking a Bobby Firmino, we're lacking a central focal point, and we're lacking someone to help us play for the middle. And that's why I think the biggest money signing will be the centre forward. Arne Slot needs a centre forward to connect everything together, right? The plucky centre forward who's comfortable on the ball, a total footballer, has the vision, can score goals. He doesn't need to be the greatest goal scorer because we have Mohamed Salah in the team. We have Cody Gakpo who's expected to score. We need the players in the middle to make the difference. Eberechi Eze, for me, should also be one of the top priorities. In terms of top priorities, Milos Kerkez and Anthony Robinson. Don't discount Anthony Robinson. Robinson is better than Kerkez. There's no doubt about that. He's much better than Kerkez right now. He's like the left-sided Kyle Walker, but he's also a total footballer who can take great penalties. Cool as ice. But Milos Kerkez has unlimited potential, and he's a workhorse, and he's game intelligent, and he's getting better and better every single year as well. So you can't go wrong with either option. Anthony Robinson to dominate here and now. Milos Kerkez for now and the future and forever and ever, baby. We're going to need pace and penetration, right? Jota and Nunes are somewhat in trouble. Nunes couldn't even get off the bench. Diogo Jota has not been clinical the whole season now. I know it's labelled him, he's our best finisher, left foot, right foot header, but the chances he has had this season could have made the real difference, and he's been found wanting. So as a third choice off the bench, very effective, silkworm dribble, 2-footed, great mentality, great in the air, plucky option. Wouldn't complain about being on the bench in the rotation as well. He's in the rotation for Portugal. But yeah, you can't go wrong with Nunes or Jota as the third choice, but Jota's body reliability is a bit of an issue. And I think Nunes, even though he's got quality attributes, he's probably fed up and had enough. He wants to be first choice. He wants to play game in, game out. He's a volume shooter who needs chances created and funneled through him again and again. And unless Arne Slot really is determined to get the most out of Darwin Nunes with that 10 behind him, I've read some ridiculous articles around how Arne Slot's coaching has failed to get through to Nunes. That's complete BS. The system is designed for defensive solidarity to bring the opposition out of position, for Nunes to be a complete forward, of which nullifies his attacking game. If we funneled everything through Nunes, like Manchester City do Haaland, Nunes would return good numbers. And even if he needs 4 or 5 shots to score 1 goal, that 1 goal and 2 goals is enough in an Arne Slot system to bring home the bacon and the 3 points. It's no surprise that we are the best team in the league, and we've done it on merit in our first season with Arne Slot. And in the first half, we blew everyone away. But now, when it's squeaky bum time, even the top players have pressure, right, to close the finishing line. To get over the line is the hardest thing in tennis, in badminton, in basketball, in football. To get over the line is so hard. It's a mental thing rather than a physical thing. And Leicester were battling out there. Don't forget that this was the game that relegated Leicester City. They were battling out there like beavers, like Chris Kamara's beavers. Can't believe it, Jeff. Don't believe it, Jeff, kind of thing. Ruud van Nistelrooy, relegated. Connor Cody, relegated. Vardy is going down to Championship. They're going to be a yo-yo club for the near future. And look, we have a homecoming potentially against Tottenham Hotspur. But look, it might even be spoiled if Arsenal lose to Crystal Palace, which is a great chance, because let's close at the first opportunity. I don't care for the fairy tale, get Arsenal to do us a guard of honour, get them to do a lap of honour, even though it won't be a lap of honour. Close it at the first opportunity. Now let's have a word on Trent Alexander-Arnold, right? He didn't put the shirt on the flag. I think it was McAllister picking his shirt off the floor. He's hench, he's muscular. He probably unleashed a lot of rage because he's never going to get the affection of a Stevie G, because he's not as good as Stevie G. He's a local lad, but it's just his demeanour, his too cool for school character. He's a little bit awkward, socially awkward, and an introvert, right? He doesn't speak the best either professionally, and he's ill-informed with his PI exercise, talking about the Ballon d'Or. But he's still our Scouts heartbeat. Trent, wherever you may play, you're Scouts heartbeat, and you're here to stay, hopefully. When you whip in the ball, it's a goal all day, that kind of thing. And he did whip in the ball, left foot. He's the only one that hit the shot with a bit of venom. Luis Diaz, did he even have a proper shot? Gakpo definitely didn't have a shot. He had a good header. Jota should have done better, crashing in, floating in the air with a header. He should have buried that top, an on-form Jota buries that as well. These players, I think, have hit their peak. Jota is out of his peak and out of form. Mo Salah will float in and out of the games, but he's always a creative playmaker, and his connection with Conor Bradley is immense because he can play the final pass to get Conor Bradley into position. For Conor Bradley's defensive faults this particular game, he is the future. He's so good as a total footballer, and I love everything about Conor Bradley. And he's, pure-hearted, plays with his heart on his sleeve. He's a right-sided Robbo with better attacking threat, and he's a better all-around footballer than Robbo. Robbo's got much better delivery on the left foot. Robbo is also part of the leadership group, so is Conor Bradley for Northern Ireland, right? So, yeah, it's going to be a fun time at Liverpool. We have the basis for a quality team. Endo didn't even get on to close up shop there, so, what go on there? Big E with how to Endo. He is the closer. But look, we wanted to maintain a rhythm. This is a 1-0, 2-0 possession-based domination, positional play Arne Slot team for the fact that we don't have the players really to dominate the football match, as Arne Slot intimated in a pre-match press conference. You can do it Italian style. Catenaccio, right? Catenaccio. It might be a dirty word with a sweeper, and Inter Milan and Juventus of old winning by 1-0. You're knowing the quality is going to pay off eventually, right? So you hold firm, rely on your Gianfranco Facchetti, the flying left-back pioneer. Ruud Krol and Facchetti, watch them in the World Cup, watch them for the great teams of Holland and Inter Milan as well. Ruud Krol and Facchetti from left back, like Conor Bradley, dash forward, 1-2, play over the top, in and behind, late ball run, smash it into the goal, 1-0, have that all day. And I think Conor Bradley will do the job next season. I expect at least 5 goals from Conor Bradley and potentially match-winning goals as well, because he can get in amongst the numbers. We're almost there, guys. Premier League, baby. Yes! Premier League champione, ole, ole, ole. Live a bird on the chest. It's the crest that represents our hopes and our dreams, and we are back on our perch. Alex Ferguson is alive to see us overtake and dismantle the dynasty he built, because he laid bare a Manchester United squad that was threadbare. Handed over to David Moyes, a skeleton of a team, and disintegrated. Man City are floating thereabouts. Could they miss the Champions League? Barely beat Everton, right? Chelsea, by hook or by crook, clawed their way in. I wouldn't mind Chelsea getting Champions League, especially in favour of Nottingham Forest and Chelsea over Manchester City, because Manchester City feel so entitled. They're going to need a rebuild. Pep Guardiola out of the Champions League, that would be hilarious. And Chelsea got money anyway, so they're going to spend it, and Nottingham Forest won't do much damage. So big midweek game with Nottingham Forest as well. Guys, it's a great time to be a Liverpool fan. Make sure you smash a like on this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. 69% of you are subscribers, which means a good 31% of you haven't subscribed, even though you watch this channel with substance and abundance week in, week out for tactical analysis, dating advice, and more. Japanese food and life in Japan. Mushroom Boy Ato begs you to subscribe as a Triple Mimiya, because they need new kit. They're growing massively, 5 and 2 years old. So thank you so much. Please subscribe, join the membership if you can. YouTube membership is the best way to support the channel. YouTube don't pay shizio, so yeah, every single support really helps. Until next time, let's hope we can wrap up the Premier League. First time of asking against Tottenham Hotspurs. Destroy Angeberg. It's like an iceberg sinking faster than Titanic. Angebor even. Destroy the High Line. Let's get into it. Have a great week, everyone. I know I will. Enjoy your Easter bank holiday. Monday, fun day. Until next time, Jane Miyazaki-man Ichiban. It means the best. Jane means ciao. Peace.